For the players.
I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And this is For the Players, the pop culture PlayStation podcast. Over 40 years of playing PlayStation and 10 plus years that games meeting. Bummer to thank you for joining us in this PlayStation conversation. As the notification noise goes off, we'll get to that in just a moment.
This PlayStation conversation happens every Monday morning at 8 a.m. on podcast services, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and 9 a.m. on those you choose. But if you'd like to take part in future conversations with us, you can. Come and check out our socials. Facebook, Discord, Instagram, Twitter, all of those links can be found in the description below.
Do you want to join the conversation as it happens? Head over to twitch.tv/popcultures, where you can watch us record this show live, where you can jump in the chat and become part of the show. If you want to support the show, you can by telling your friends, telling your family about this PlayStation pod. If you are listening on podcast services, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to like, subscribe, with a comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. And if you want to support us financially, you can at patreon.com/thepopculturist, as well as our merchandise to popculture.com/shop, where you can buy shirts and other sorted shit with our logos on it. As I mentioned, notification noises went off in my ear hole, and that's a big thank you to Rated Type R for the resubscription on the Twitch stream. And also a big thank you to Rock With Me for doing one just before we started recording the show. Max, how you been?
Too bad, man.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's been an alright week, despite the fact that it's been hot and cold and all types of...
It has been the most Katy Perry of weeks. It was hot and cold, yes and you know, you were in and you were out, it was up and you down. It was wrong, it was right, it was black and it's white. I'm pretty sure that's all the words to the chorus of Katy Perry's Hot and Cold.
Sure. Yeah, no, it was a weird week. I was super exhausted for the majority of the week. I'm not entirely sure why, but luckily on Thursday, by the end of it, I was just knackered. My kid just wanted to spend all day in bed watching movies. I'm like,
yeah.
All right.
Well, my Thursday was fucking stacks, but actually, that was a pretty good Thursday. I can't argue. That's pretty good. My Thursday was pretty good, though. So I did some cool shit, and it's PlayStation-related shit, so we're going to swing open the show with that one. So, to create an event around the launch of God of War Ragnarok, PlayStation Australia connected up with a series, a chain of restaurants called Mjolner. They're based out of Sydney and Melbourne, a Viking/Norse themed restaurant where they created a lovely fine dining experience based around the latest game. So they had this multi-course meal called the Discover the Realms, and each one of the drinks and the food were all themed in such a way that they were like named after things in the latest God of War game, and it was a fucking treat. Have you ever been to the place, Max?
Nah. I'm not one for fine dining. My wife's doesn't have a large palate for variety.
Yeah, no, your wife very much does not have a very wide palate. Like, I remember when I lived with it, it was like it was a good number of the same shit on repeat. So
it's not something that we would do together, but I'd also feel guilty like totally not taking her. So
yeah, it was
it's one of those things.
Yeah, so I took my new friend, her and I went. So she has quite a fine dining palate, which is great because the people they were like, this is this and this is that, and I'm like, yeah, but how does this connect to PlayStation? And then that's when I suddenly cared again. So it was a great lot of win-win scenario. I went because it was PlayStation themed, and she enjoyed it because it was a nice fine dining experience. It was right up her alley. So I came out looking fantastic, by the way. And I just wanted to go because it was PlayStation, but then suddenly I look awesome. It was a very good pro gamer move by me, is what I'm saying. Delivered pretty well.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so we went on for Thursday night to go check out the place. It was really bizarre. So it's in this little like side alley in Melbourne CBD. So it was really uneventful, and like in terms of the alleyway was really quiet. It was dark, and like there was a bar called La La Land. I'm like, hey, I got really hammered there once. And then I was like, oh, and there's this door. So they had this really like big wooden ornate door. Like there's no major sign. It didn't say Mjolnir in capital letters and like, flashing neon or anything. There's this little Thor's, Mjolnir symbol to the right of the door. So, oh, cool. Well, are they even open? It's just so quiet outside. Like you can't hear anything. And then you open the door and it does that. It literally does the whole. And as it does, like the light of the venue comes through, you start hearing the sound and the rumbling of the crowd as they're all chinking of cutlery and like and the ruckus mixed with like the warm heat that comes and all the scents and the smells and the music. You're hearing that real kind of Norse like throaty singing, and it was like holy fuck, what a way to like you open the door and like when you play like D&D. And then someone tries to explain to you what it's like walking into a tavern. Like, it's this, it's that. It felt like that. It felt like I lived a real blown RPG tavern experience. It was brilliant. Walk in, have this lovely case to the left. It's got all like fucking armor. And like, it looks like armor straight out of Skyrim. It was tits. And then there was like a plastic sword that I'm pretty sure my son has. He got it from the reject shop. So that kind of took me out of it for a second. But then I came back right in. So we were downstairs. So it had this real kind of like dungeony sort of feel. Went in downstairs, there's lovely brick archways everywhere, more display cases, big round shields on the wall, axes, everyone, like all the men that were working there look straight out of the Vikings TV show. I'm pretty sure they're all related to Skarsgårds in somewhere. They've all got the blonde hair and like the man buns or whatever. It was awesome. We sat down, like, oh, what brings you here? I'm like, we're here for the God of War thing. I'm a giant fucking dork. Look at my arm. And went, oh, yeah, cool, no worries, super easy. And then it started with, they have these little shot glasses that are in the shape of horns on the table. And like, we start every meal with a shot to the gods. So it was this beautiful honey mead. We skull, to the. It was really funny because they were like, we salute to, Odin and Thor and Loki. I'm like, I just played a game and two of them are assholes. So I don't really want to like cheers them, but Loki, fuck yeah, I'll cheers all day for Loki. Took a swig, delicious. Absolutely, like straight off the bat, the first thing I put in my mouth, fantastic. So good. But yeah, so then the menu comes out and it's all named after bullshit things in God of War Ragnarok, which is great. There was like Freya's Revenge and the Dwarf's Forge and the Mists of Niflheim and all these like, just nerdy ass little fucking names that they've given it, because it was all about each meal or each item was about discovering the realms, which was stacks of fun. So the first drinks that I'm just going to go through step by step, Max. I'm going to nerd out and you just jump in if you have any questions. But once again, seeing as you're not a fine diner, as neither am I was like, oh, I like that one. Yeah, I like that one. So the first was a round of drinks. We picked up the Mists of Niflheim, which I originally thought would be some cool thing that have like dry ice in it or something to kind of make it look all misty and cool. Nah, it was just a green drink. Tastes pretty good. There was gin base. It was like, bro, it was brutal. You would love it because I know you're a fan of your gins.
I'm a gin man.
And then I got this, like the Dwarf's Forge, which was a cognac, which had like a port and cranberries and stuff in it. Right? It was just flavor. But to make it cool is the dude comes out with two little metal saucepany thingies. He puts the hit of the cognac in it and then just straight sets it on fire. And then proceeds to do this cool pouring thing, which burns out the alcohol because it's pretty gnarly. And then it also has this really cool, like, molten effect to really bring home that dwarven feel to it. And it was awesome. It tasted like warm Christmas. And it was all fruity and, like, it sat here really nice. And because it was high booze content and I didn't eat that much that day, it hit me like a fucking ton of bricks. But came with this little bag of chai as well, so he tripped the chai tea bag in there. So, oh yeah, cool. And it adds a whole different flavor to it again. Oh, it was so good. Then we had some salmon dish. Actually, I'll pull up I should be creative and I should pull up like the actual fucking menu.
You didn't steal a menu from the place?
Oh, I did, but yeah, Phoebe has it. I don't have it, so I should have stolen it back, but I did not. I was inefficient.
Mistake.
Oh no, we straight up stole it. I just don't have it in front of me, which is the bummer. Let me have a look. Let's see what was the things that we had. So we had the Sortier's Revenge. So Sortier is this essentially this big mystery legend of an individual that was based out of Muspelheim, which was really interesting because, like, you know, Muspelheim being like this fucking mortal looking ass realm that's covered in mountain and fire and stuff. It was really like, it was an oddly like fresh like salmon dish that was really dope. And then we had Freya's Revenge, which was like this piece of bone. So you would take the bone marrow out of it, and then you would smear it on bread and eat it. It was really fucking bizarre because it tastes like Vegemite. It was like real yeasty and salty, and I was like, "Who's this person that ate which is animal that ate so much Vegemite that it seeped into their bone marrow?" But what was like super fucking metal about it is you could request to take a shot of whiskey through the bone marrow and like through the bone piece. So they would set it on fire, so like emulsify all the fats and really bring that smoky flavor into it, and then take a shot. And she's like, and the woman behind her was like, "Look, you're clearly here for the experience." I'm like, "Yes, I am." She goes, "Would you like to take a shot out of the whiskey that we have in Mjolnir?" Like, "I'm sorry, what?" Like, "Yeah, we have a hammer that was crafted by like the weapons makers of the Lord of the Rings, and we put booze in it." Like, yes. So I had a Thor's hammer shot through this. Oh, it was exceptional. Like, oh my god, it was like what a string of taste. It was really good. Oh fuck, it was so cool. It was just metal as hell. And then the main course was the Secrets of the Father, which was this fucking expensive steak. It was a dry aged Scotch fillet, and it was absolutely brilliant. Was it worth every dollar that we paid for it? Probably not, but it was fucking delicious.
What did it run you for the night? Just out of curiosity. You can tell me to fuck off if you want to.
No, it was $275 for the two of us.
Wow, that's pricey.
That steak was $100.
Fuck.
Yeah. Worth it in that I'm like, I would never do this experience again. I was like, poor. And I'm so lucky. That Phoebe was all like super, modern age woman about it. She's like, we'll split it. I'm like, oh, thank fuck.
Wait,
oh, thank fuck. Oh, God, you have no idea how much I appreciate you right now. Holy shit. Yeah. I was like, oh, thank you so much. And it impressed the lady. It most certainly did. Yeah, so there was that. It had this like, yeah, it was beautiful. And then to end the night, it was a bomb Alaska, which is like meringue with a raspberry sorbet in the middle and like a biscuit on the bottom, which they then also set on fire because everything just got set on fire. And it looked like, like as I said on Twitter, it was bizarre. Like the fire, it was a raspberry schnapps that they set on fire. So it had this really cool like blue hue to it. So it kind of had that like, souls escaping hell like energy to it. Like they really nailed it in terms of the presentation mixed with the pairing of the names, what they were going for. And it really it was such a rad experience. And as I said, it was something that I would never do. And admittedly, like just by having it tied into God of War was just enough for me to go do it. In the same way that when they did the PlayStation to Play earlier in the year, and I drove to some fucking bakery in Preston just to try a vaguely Ratchet and Clank fucking dessert.
To be fair, that dessert was kind of gnarly.
That dessert was so good.
It was so good.
Like I wanted, like, do I go to Sydney just to try the fucking Uncharted steak burger and whatever the other thing was? It was the Last of Us based dish. I'm like, oh, you know what I mean? Like, and here, like, it was insane. It was such a cool, like, overall, just a cool experience. It's a bar I knew existed, but I never would have gone because I knew it would have been expensive. It was very much if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. I'm going to do it once and then probably never do it again. But fuck, I'm glad I did it. I'm so glad I did it. It hit all the right beats. It impressed my partner. I got really stoked on the God of War nerdiness to it. And it tastes fucking amazing. Like it was a big win.
Yeah.
And like it was awesome. It was just cool. And I sent, because when I spoke to PlayStation Australia about it, and I was like, oh shit, like thanks, appreciate you sending me them. I booked in for Thursday. It looks fucking dumb. I'm so in. They're like, oh man, yeah, please let us know what you think. I think knowing full well it's this big expensive experience, I guess they're like, yeah, give us any fucking feedback. And I sent them the photos and I gave them the rundown of what it was. And they're like, oh man, thank you so much for your support and all that sort of stuff. And I'm like, just if cool marketing installations like this keep happening, I'm going to keep doing it. Like, I'm a giant fucking PlayStation dork, but additionally, it's cool marketing, right? It's something different. Like, I obviously feel like, aside from now that you know how much it would have cost, like, are things like this something that intrigues you?
Yeah, like I enjoyed the PlayStation Plate stuff. It is nice stepping outside of the usual box of marketing. It's cool to have such an interactive thing be paired with something that we enjoy so much.
Yeah.
So doing more of that would be cool.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and it was fucking dope in that sense.
Sign me up for like a Last of Us escape room or something.
Oh shit, that would be cool. All we have to hope is that
Dark Pictures. Come on, let's go. Some escape rooms.
Well, the next one, which comes out in 2 weeks, is all about the H.H. Holmes house. Give me a fucking escape room wrapped it seemed like the fucking H.H. Holmes death room. That is brilliant marketing. So, horrifying marketing. Like, once again, just amplifying serial killers. But holy shit, that would be so fucking cool. So fucking cool. But yeah. Look, I'm so glad I did it. God of War being unquestionably my game of the year, and now the God of War, the Norse saga specifically, is my favorite game franchise set in existence. So that's an easy win for me. You wrap that in there, I'm there, right? And I'm glad I got to experience it. And I got to take someone that experienced it in a different way. Like, if you and I went,
like a normal person who just enjoys food.
Yeah, like who doesn't just think about food practically like I do. Like, this one makes my mouth, fine, or like this one, because I eat my Muscle Chef meals and I have meal replacement shakes. I eat for practicality, not for fucking entertainment. So to take someone that was able to get it and understand it, like if you and I went, you and I would have had the best fucking mandate in the world. Like, it would have been great. But to take someone that got like a boner for it in a different way, like, oh, this is, this meat was prepared this way, it was done this, and this is why it's good, and this is why these flavors work really well together. I'm like, it's a steak. It looks fucking cool, and it's named after Kratos. Can I eat it? But it was really, really good in that sense. That's what we mentioned in the chat. Glad you both had an awesome time. Marcy, is it from Marcy? Yeah, I did. It was an absolutely fantastic time. As I said, I come out looking amazing. So I'm like, hey, you want to go do this super nerdy thing? I'm like, yeah, yes. And I came out looking great. Like, what a win. If they do the PlayStation, it's MGB Live says, if they do the PlayStation Plate thing again, they have to do an Astro or Sackboy item. I did this is one of the marketing things I did receive. So when Astrobot came out, I got gifted this fucking Hessian bag with gold coins in it because, one of the big things about the game was collecting gold coins. So that was pretty cool. That's a cool bit of marketing. Oh, and I should...
You go.
Oh, and I should preface as well, outside of getting the email that says go do it, PlayStation Australia didn't pay for me or do anything. I got no special treatment or incentivized or anything. I just went, this looks dumb, I'm in.
No, in the chat, it's like, I eat for practicality, unless it's a $100 steak and a shot through bone marrow.
Normally I do. This was the exception. This was the exception to the rule. But yeah, MGB, if Sony partnered up with a company like Juice, so Juice is like a energy drink, sort of. It's like that weird, it's like a pre-workout. It's like powdered shit. I don't know what it is. And I'm saying that just because, MGB's partnered with them now. So just MGB thrown in a little self promo there. Well done. Yeah, I think that'd be cool. If they do more stuff like that, I'm totally in. Even if they do dumb shit, any event stuff, I'm totally fucking in. I'm a giant nerd for this stuff. But look, that's enough. That's 25 straight minutes on fucking what I ate for dinner on Thursday. This is the content you guys come for, I guess.
We're a fucking food podcast.
Yeah. For the plate tours.
For the eaters.
Yep. Oh, no, for the eaters. That sounds like a fucking kink podcast, and I'm also down for that. for the feeders. Fuck me. That's so dangerous. That's so dangerous. But I kind of want to do that, but I also don't. But I kind of do.
Remember that one time when you were going to buy the God of War cookbook and you were going to do a fucking cooking show at some point?
The God of War cookbook comes out next week, and I'm going to buy it. And my kitchen looks like shit. So it's most certainly not the most, like, video-friendly kitchen. But I'm in. I might just do it. Cooking stream. I would consider it. And we'll do the God of War cookbook. Fuck. No, I may have convinced myself. Wouldn't be an FTP if it didn't devolve to porn. Fucking a weird porn too, not just regular porn. It's always weird. And them's the rules. You know, ones that make you go, oh, I should probably. Why am I still watching this? That's the good shit.
I can't believe this content is free.
Yeah, who filmed this? And who gave it away for free? You should paywall this.
1 second.
No worries. But yeah, like, if you guys wouldn't be interested, that's certainly something I'd be keen to do. Because like I always kind of like the idea of these cool cookbooks. Well, I'm just going to talk to you all directly while Max fucks off to do whatever he's doing. I'm sure it's something to do with his kid. Like, so I know Fallout did one. As Bethesda made a cookbook for Fallout, and I did consider doing that too. There was a couple of cookbooks that like gaming related cookbooks. I think there was like a Star Wars one, which I don't know what that would taste like. That would taste fucking weird. But like, yeah, I did consider doing it in the past. I thought it'd be like a dumb little gimmick. But yeah, I most certainly would consider doing something like that. Yeah, done. I'm interested. Just gotta wait. Like, I wasted all my fucking solo talking material when Max was in the room, and now he's buggered off, and I've just got to have to sit here and chat to it. Fakova, do it! Alright, I'm gonna need your help, though. I'm 100% need your help. Okay, this is how it's going to derail when Max is in here. In the early days of the internet, you could search for a man having sex with a goat. Now it asks what breed of goat. That's good to know. Look, it's good to know. I imagine different breeds of goats have very different interests in what they seek for in a partner, unconsensually. MGB, I think those geeky cookbooks are a nice novelty, just something for us peeps who love that stuff. And it's very similar to the whole idea of like this whole marketing deal with Mjolnir was like, I would never have done this if they didn't gamify it. So to have them do that here, huge win, absolute huge win. I'm gonna have to deep dive into a little bit into the world of geeky cookbooks and see what I can find, because I know there has been quite a handful. And I'd be willing to start a little collection because I don't have any cookbooks. So maybe I'm going to have to start scouting them out and build my collection of little cookbooks. Everything good?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, it's all good. Don't worry.
Okay, cool. You sure?
Yeah.
We can stop?
No, if I stopped, it might be a while.
Okay. Well, in that case, let's get straight into it. What have we been playing this week, Max? Go.
So I finished Entropy Centre off.
Yes, so Entropy Centre, a really cool little game that came from Stride PR. It was just a big thank you to them for sending on that through. The premise was literally like, hey, you like Portal? I'm like, fuck yeah, I love Portal, beep. And yeah, this game is literally Portal without the portals.
Yeah.
Run me through it, Max.
So the premise of the game is you're in a testing facility, like in Portal, and you're essentially trying to stop the destruction of the world.
Mm-hmm.
And to do that, you need to do these puzzles to charge up a device that will allow you to save the world.
Mm-hmm.
So similar to Portal, you go through the testing. Each segment of tests have a different gimmick. So the main overarching gimmick in this is the entropy device, which is essentially a time rewind gun. So once you've worked out the puzzles, you have to essentially solve them in reverse because you have to rewind all the stuff as you go through. Mm. So that's the gimmick. And then throughout you have like the standard cubes, explosive cubes, bridge cubes, laser cubes, and they all interact differently. Took about 4 or 5 hours to beat. There's 15 chapters. Yeah, it was really cool.
Yes, I've been spending a little bit of time with it myself. Now, in no way am I in your credits level because you rolled credits right over the weekend. But like I'm like 6 chapters deep at the moment. Each chapter has five puzzles, and as you said, Max, each of those early chapters were all about like, hey, here's new gimmick. Here's go to the next one. Here's new gimmick. Next one. Here's new gimmick, and so on and so on. So it was kind of cool. And then towards the back end, they start implementing them all together in like this fucking potential chaos fest of modes. Now, so for those that don't know, entropy is like its actual terminology is the level of chaos within the universe. So
I might need to bounce, man.
Okay.
I'm really sorry.
That's all right. I'm happy to record later tonight if you like.
Yeah, cool. If we can.
All right. I'm sorry, everyone. Max has to go.
Sorry, everyone.
No, Max has to go do things. Family always comes first. So we will see.
I'll be back.
We will see you all later. And we're back. Sorry, apologies on that. Max had to attend to his family. And as I said, like literally seconds before this cut, family comes first. Always. I learned that the hard way. Keep it that way.
The old PopC intermission.
Yeah, it hasn't happened in a while, but it's back. So what I was last thing we were talking about Entropy Centre and how like I hadn't spent as much time with it as you have. Like I haven't rolled credits, but we're talking about sort of the gimmicks around each of the chapters. So in the downtime that you were off tending to your family, I did play some more Entropy Centre. So now I'm in chapter 7, and the latest gimmick is rivers.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about rivers.
Yeah,
that was a fun chapter. I think I cheesed a lot of the puzzles in the rivers.
Yeah, I'm cheesed. The 3 that I just did, I cheesed the shit out of.
Like I worked out with the flat square jump pads. They don't activate if you're holding them or rewinding them, but if you quickly tap drop and then re-grab them, you can double jump yourself in midair. Oh. So I was like, I skipped like entire sections that I don't think I was supposed to skip by like bouncing off a launch pad and then dropping the jump pad and rebouncing again.
Oh, that's some good entropy hacks right there.
Well, there's a section coming up soon that you'll get, I think, if my memory is correct, coming up soon, where the gimmick is conveyor belts.
Oh.
And you have this kind of momentum thing like you did with the portal goo. So you like run really fast along the conveyor belt, drop the jump pad, and you just like fucking yeet yourself across.
Yeah.
And then obviously if you need to go in reverse, you reverse the conveyor belts and run in the opposite direction. And, yeah.
But yes, as we were saying, so the game is a lot of fun in that it has you thinking in the same way that Portal did. And like, yes, this game is Portal without the portals, but like it knew that going in. All of the marketing material was pretty much along the lines of, it's Portal. You like Portal, right? It's pretty much Portal. And yeah, I'm not even mad about it. Like the story is pretty cool. Like at least what it's alluding to is that, you know, that there is this cataclysmic event that happens on Earth, and this entire center is just constantly trying to is just building up to reverse it, to try to save it, but it just keeps repeating and repeating and repeating. Because the story is that every time that an individual runs the series of puzzles, it builds up entropy, and they use that entropy, as I alluded to before. Entropy is the amount of chaos within the universe. Where as you build up this entropy, they can use it to then alter bigger moments in time. So the idea is that having people run these puzzles over and over and over again in order to reverse this worldwide cataclysm. So I just approached the Entropy Museum, and they've talked about how like in the past, Entropy the Entropy Project or Center has been used to save the pandas, save the tigers, stop like 10,000 asteroids, and a bunch of other like pretty and life-ending things. It's a cool gimmick in that sense. I've just learned like minor combat just popped up as well. I was wondering if it was a completely combat-free game, but no, there's a little bit of combat.
Yeah, no, the game is cool. So I think I mentioned it a little bit earlier. So the way the big difference between it and Portal is, in Portal, you can see the solution and you're like, okay, this is how I do it. In Entropy Center, I can see the solution, now I have to solve it backwards.
Yeah, which that in itself is a dope gimmick.
Yeah, because obviously as you're rewinding the pieces through the level, it's like, well, I need to make this jump here, then this jump here, then this jump here, which means I need to start the items here, then here, then here, and work your way backwards.
Yeah.
So that was cool. It took a little while to wrap my head around that. So it took, I think my playtime was about 4 hours 20-ish.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me just as long to get from chapters 1 to 10 as it did from 10 to 15, because at the back end of the game is when they throw all the gimmicks at you at once. It's
Yeah,
we've tutorialed the shit out of you for the first half of the
Yeah.
game. Now shit's about to get real, and that's, because I mentioned it last week that I found the puzzles to be quite simplistic in design to begin with,
and that's because they're setting you up for
and that's
something
because
huge.
they're essentially setting you up to screw you over in the back end of the game.
Yeah, and like at least in my experience so far is that, yeah, like having the short, as I mentioned before the cut, is the five puzzles per chapter is really tight. It's just enough to get you on the understanding on it, and then you move to the next. And yeah, having work the puzzle in reverse is actually fun. So in theory, it prevents you from trying to cheese the puzzles, because you could, like at least in Portal, you could just somehow end up with the answer and go, oh, okay, that's the answer.
Yeah.
Where here it's like you have to solve the puzzle and then work out how to it's like math, right? You find the solution, but then you have to show your working out. Same thing. Like, hey, well, here's the answer. Now work your way backwards. Which
For sure.
Tons of fun. So I'll hopefully spend like a time with that. Like the only other thing that I guess because I'm doing so many puzzles like in quick succession, time in and of itself, ironically, doesn't feel weird. Like it feels weird. Like you're like, oh, it took me 4.5 hours. I'm like, how much time have I spent with it already? It's gonna be a couple of hours, easy. But then I have no idea because I've just been rapping through it so fast.
And it doesn't show you a game clock either. Like your save file shows you the last time that you saved it. Like real world time. So
yeah, so I actually have no idea how long I spent this so far. At least a couple hours. So I had my son with me last night, and he went to bed early, and because he sometimes he goes, I want to sleep with you. I'm like, yeah, no worries. So we went to bed, and I just played through remote play on the backbone to the lounge, and I did that for a little while. So I probably put like,
is that the new device you're going to bring up every week? You've moved on from the TV. It's like backbone.
Oh, I don't need the TV anymore. I got a backbone now. But no, the game is really, really good. I think it's relatively cheap, and especially if you want a small, thoughty sort of puzzle game. In the same way, like The Witness, I really enjoyed The Witness in that I know it's a fucking bit of it on, to be like, yeah, it was like learning a language in that in The Witness, you're like, here's words, and then here's two words, and then here's sentences, and then here's phrases, and you have to think about it as you go. Where here, it's the same idea. It's like, hey, here's a bunch of words, and now we're going to start giving you sentences, by the sounds of it, at least from what you're saying, and then you suddenly go, oh shit, but you're not just, so you're learning the sentence and then translating it back.
So one of the trippiest parts of the puzzle that they give you at the back end of the game, a little bit of spoilers, not story related, but similar to that in like Portal and whatnot, they have gates where it'll remove all the times that you've spent rewinding stuff. But they introduce a new gate which allows you to transform the cubes into either laser cubes, jump cubes, or bridge cubes. So there's times where you have to literally walk it through, make it a cube, walk it back, make it something else, walk it through, make it something else, and then you're rewinding it so it hits the right cubes in the right spot at the right time to do the things that you need to do to solve the puzzle.
Yeah, and like for me, it's really like, because it's time manipulation, it can work in a different way. In that, like, I forget that you can freeze time. So there was a puzzle that I just couldn't work out. I'm like, well, how am I supposed to get it from there to there? Like, there is a wall and there's a laser wall in the way. How am I going to get it? And then I realized that I could drop it, freeze it in time, go to the level that I needed to, and then just go yoink and put it where I want it. But that took me like 10 minutes. I was like, and then I just, then I had that moment. I went, there it is.
The amount of times that I did the puzzle and went, I didn't do it in reverse. And then I had to redo the whole thing to set up the rewinds properly. And
yeah. Would you recommend it?
Yeah, it's really cool. It is a very thought-provoking puzzle game.
Yeah, one of the reasons
and again, it's not too long.
Yeah, one of the reasons I wanted to jump on it, I felt like it was going to be a short experience. If it's anything like Portal, which is also a short experience, I thought it would be a more heady sort of game. In that, like, as much as I loved God of War, like, it was emotionally heavy. Where this is like thought heavy and quite heady, as it would need with a D, is that you need to think a lot, and it's unique. Like, but it's weird. It's unique, but it's not unique. It's like it's clearly wearing its inspiration on its sleeve, but what's good inspiration is that it alters what the original was and delivers something different.
It is very much wearing it on its sleeve. Like you play as a non-speaking protagonist. You have a weapon that speaks to you.
Oh, no, the character speaks.
You have actually that's true. You have a test. You're in a testing facility with no one else around. Like, it's very
and then you find little robots, the one with and like it's this mystery and it's all these bunch of things. But yeah, like taking inspiration, like if they just made Portal, it'd be a bit of a shit. But like they made Portal, but then added all the little variants in it that made it unique and different, and that is what like truly taking inspiration from something is. So that's dope. I thoroughly enjoyed it so far. Excuse me. The other game that I played is like Broken Pieces. I talked about that last week. I probably put like 25 minutes into it. I just wanted to test out the remote play. It's 2 times now. And I played it, and it's got like a lot of fixed camera. The one of the reasons I picked it up had a very cool Silent Hill energy to it. And straight off the bat, the game's weird as shit. And like I was like, oh, okay, cool, I'm in. Super, super weird. But a game that you've been working on for a little while, Max, you finally rolled credits on.
Yeah, so I returned to Midgard this week in the form of Valkyrie Elysium. So thanks to the team over at Bandai Namco Australia for providing me with the code ages ago.
Yeah.
I finally got through it. So this is
oh my god, for context, everyone, like the thunderstorm that was being meant to hit all day as my camera freezes. Give me 1 sec. Yeah, as the thunderstorm has been meant to hit all day, just kicked in, and the heavens have opened.
Yeah.
I'm sure you can hear it, like, just beating the shit out of my drain.
It's at my place as well. It's horrible.
We live, like, 3 minutes from each other. I sure hope so. Yeah, so you went back to Midgard?
Went back to Midgard, played some more Valkyrie Elysium, and I rolled credits, as you alluded to. It turns out I got the bad ending. So there's 4 endings: a normal, a good, a bad, and a true. So I got the bad ending. So this game came out about 2 months ago. It is a hack and slash RPG. Self-contained level, so each mission is set up in its own open world level, which is cool. Combat is your standard combo-based light attack, heavy attack, and then as the added difficulty or the added element to it is the elemental types of the monsters. So if you hit them of the same element, so if they're weak to lightning, you hit them with lightning, you can stun them, and it deals bonus damage. And essentially, if they're stunned, they can't move, they can't attack, they don't retaliate. I think the term is breaking. And then you have your Einherjar, which are your summons, and they each give you a elemental type as well. So if your weapon is base type fire, but you summon the Holy Spirit, you will also deal holy damage.
Okay.
And it took me to the end of the game to realize this, but when you do combos, when you combo, at the end of your combo, depending on which element type you have, it'll do like a little flare. So if you have fire, it essentially has like a little explosion. Ice creates like this big icicle inside the enemy and will deal multiple hits. In Holy, it makes a fucking healing circle underneath you so you can constantly stay healed up, which is super useful. The other thing that you can do in combat is you have essentially a tether that pulls you towards enemies, and then you can do some aerial combos and flares. And then you have standard magic attacks, which are, again, element-based to help break those immunities and stuff like that. At the start of the game, I really loved the combat. I thought it was fantastic. By the end of the game, it became tedious, and it was more of a, I just want to get through this so I can get to the interesting part, which was the story for me. So the story is you play as a Valkyrie. You are one of Odin's. You are Odin's last Valkyrie, I believe, and you have been assigned to Midgard to cleanse the souls of the of Midgard from essentially the souls have become monsters, and you're cleansing the souls to save Midgard, to save the world. Turns out that may not be true as you play through the story. Other factions kind of are in your ear like, really? Is that really what you're doing?
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure that's what you're doing? And then by the end of the game, it made me question what was going on. And then lo and behold, I got the ending that's classified as the bad ending. So I'm gonna save scum it a little bit and go back and do the other two, do the other two endings, because I believe they have boss fights and the bad ending didn't. It just had this really cool cutscene between an NPC that is essentially searching for a lost lover throughout the entire game. And then I had this really cool moment with that. With that
you
NPC
went the more character-based decision rather than the more action-based decision.
Which is weird for me because that's normally not how I play games.
After coming off Ragnarok, you're all emotional and shit. You're like, yeah, I'm going to pick the emotional option.
It's just the story made it feel like that's the one that I should have picked.
Yeah.
For me, anyway. So, it was really cool. I really enjoyed it. If you're a fan of like hack and slash games like Devil May Cry, stuff like that, the combat's pretty cool. But again, by the end of it, I did find it a little bit tedious.
Yeah.
So my playthrough ran me about 10 hours, just a little over 10 hours. There's 9 chapters in the game. Each core main story quest is a chapter, and then inside of those you can find subquests, which will allow you to unlock. Some give you weapons, some give you magic spells, and they're just extra flavor text for lore and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do too many of them. I kind of just wanted to focus and get it done. But I had a blast. As of this week, last week at time of recording, they just released 2 new game modes. So there's an essentially roguelike game mode where you play as the other Valkyrie that you see throughout the game. And I can't for the life of me remember what the other one is. It's called Seraphim Gate, I think, from memory.
Okay.
And it might be like an endless wave thing, but I'm not totally sure. I haven't looked into it, but I know the other one is you play as the other Valkyrie, and it's kind of like a roguelike. So as you kill monsters and level up, you get certain skills to pick from, and you just go as far as you can.
Fantastic. Mostly not a Betsy game.
But they are both locked behind you have to finish the game first, which is fair. Because obviously, like I said, I think the game's been out for about 2 months now. So first content drop completely free, which is cool. So if you want more of that stuff, it's in there now. Cool. Which is awesome.
Yeah, that's good to hear. Certainly not a Betson game in that it's weird as shit.
Definitely
However,
definitely
I actually want to ask you, so after playing 2 different Norse games or Norse mythology games in a row, are you all Norsed out at the moment?
Not really. I mean, I think it'll be a while before I go back and play God of War.
Yeah. Because you want the plat same that I do.
Because I want the plat same as you do. But they are so vastly different.
Yeah. Not just in gameplay, but I'm sure even now they handled the mythology.
Yeah, yeah. The law's vastly different as well, which was good.
Excellent. Well, speaking of Square Enix,
and this one obviously focused hardcore on Midgard itself. You don't travel to any other realms. You're just on Midgard, and you travel to locations on Earth.
Very cool. Very, very cool. But yeah, speaking of Square Enix though, so obviously provided the code for Valkyrie Elysium. The next up for you is Tactics Ogre.
Yeah, so
may not have touched it yet, but that's coming next week. Just doing that little drip and say, hey, this was coming next week.
I installed it and opened it, played 10 minutes of it, and then finished Entropy Centre off. So Tactics Ogre will be the game that I'm playing this week. Mm-hmm. And again, big shout out to the team over at Bandai Namco Australia for providing me with a copy of that code.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm super keen to jump into that. So it's one of those isometric turn-based tactical RPGs, which is beautiful.
Yeah, everything about it's like a huge boner for you, which is great.
I'm so excited. I can't wait.
Yeah. So I myself though, I played a bit more of PGA as well because that's also great.
And season 2 of NBA 2K kicked off, so I've been playing a little bit of that.
Oh man, yeah,
I'm a sucker for seasons.
Yeah. We did also receive a review code for The Chant, which is a cool horror game that was provided to us by Play On Australia. So big thank you to them. We checking that out as well. And I think there might be a couple other things in the works. So we went from like really quiet to really busy. And because we chose to just exclusively focus on God of War Ragnarok in that time, in the least most recent couple of weeks, we're just like, well, let's just go ham on this because obviously it's PlayStation, it's first party. Like this is our number one. So now we are just playing a little bit catch up with some of the review codes we've been kindly provided. So look, we do apologize to those PR companies that did send it through. Like some of them did go oi, and we went, yeah, hang on, here's the dealio. We're sorry. Yes, we're just playing catch up at the moment, but because I think the rest of the year is relatively quiet. I think the only ones that got me excited at the moment is like the next Dark Pictures game, which comes out in 2 weeks. Midnight Suns in December.
Final Fantasy in December.
Okay, sure. Yeah, Final Fantasy in December too. Yeah, that one counts, I guess. But for me, like I've only got a couple left in me, and I do have to go back and finish Red Dead, so that I can get two of my three.
I think I've given up. I don't think I'm finishing any of them.
Well, I'm pretty sure you've decimated me in the fantasies, in the fantasy game, whatever the Metacritic thing. So maybe if we can at least just even out, maybe we can.
I don't know. At least God of War fucking came out.
And it's smashed like a 90 I may have this. I'll have to.
To be fair, Elden Ring beat it. So like,
yeah,
yeah.
Like we both have our one big hitter, and like I got fucked over with both Gotham Knights and Suicide. Oh no, you picked Suicide Squad, didn't you?
I picked
Hogwarts Legacy. Fucked me up. What a butt. Man, actually, I'm looking forward to. I've not gone and looked at what even our lists were, so I have no idea where they're at.
Yeah, it's gonna be rough.
Do we wait until the actual episode and we do it like live on air?
We do our own live reactions to what we fucking pick.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Rather than calculating it beforehand like we have previously.
Sounds good.
Like last episode of the year. Excellent. But yeah, outside that, I'm playing a whole lot. So in that case, let's just get into the section we call Inform the Players. We tell you about what happened this week in PlayStation. Now, Max, we're going to kick things off with oddly not surprising news.
So, PlayStation Extra, Premium, and Deluxe games are coming out tomorrow at time of release of this, on the Tuesday. PlayStation, there'll be 20 games in total. PlayStation Extra is getting 15 of those, with Premium getting 5.
And Deluxe.
So the Deluxe is getting sweet fuck all. So if you live in Australia and you play for Deluxe, you're getting nothing.
Sign PlayStation.
Getting nothing this month, yeah. So the games coming to Extra are the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Special Edition, PS5, PS4. Rainbow Six Siege, PS5, PS4. All of the Kingdom Hearts that were on PlayStation. So 1.5, 2.5, 2.8, and 3. All PS4 versions.
2.8 Final Chapter Prologue or whatever the fuck it was.
Yep. And Melody of Memory. We're getting Oddworld Soulstorm Enhanced Edition, PS5, PS4.
For those who didn't get
Division
on PS Plus.
2.
Oh.
Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
Oh.
Chorus. What Remains of Edith Finch. The Gardens Between. The Earth Defense Force World Brothers, Earth Defense Force Iron Rain, and Oni Chanbara.
It sounds dangerous.
Premium are getting all of the Ratchet and Clanks, which we discussed last week.
Fucking ever.
But they're getting the PS3 versions, not the PS2 versions, which means they're not releasing here in Australia because we still don't have PlayStation Now. So again, if you are a deluxe subscriber in Australia, you are getting nothing extra.
No PS1 classics, by the way. Again.
Yep. No PS2 classics either. There's nothing lower than a PS3 title here. So no PS1 classic, no PS2 classic, and literally nothing if you're a deluxe subscriber, because Extra, you would have everything that was coming to Australia. If you
cancel your subscription and go to Mjolnir if you want to replace a true PlayStation experience, apparently. Man, like, look, What Remains of Edith Finch is one game I've always wanted to check out. The Gardens Between is apparently sick. And Chorus, I caught my attention previously as well. But, it's me. Oh, that stoppage between recording, I'm fucking tired now.
So I think I'm going back to Essential once my
yeah, I'm not in the same. The idea was we'll try it and see whether it like tickles our fancy and like do it for the content. And there is no content to discuss.
There's no content.
There's nothing. So
I just wanted PS1 and PS2 classics, and I think we've gotten 3.
That's all I wanted was Siphon Filter, and fucking that's it. Then give me Ridge Racer, you fucks.
I just want a Tekken 3.
Tekken 3 would be sick. It's on your PS1 Classic. Fuck. Yeah, why don't just put anything that was on the PS1 Classic? Literally any of it.
Where's my Crash Bandicoot?
Well, that one's I expect the one to be there. But like, I know Silent Hill, that makes sense now that we know that there's more in the works.
Yep.
Metal Gear, like where the fuck's that at? You know, Tony Hawk's also I don't see that coming. But like, where's like just random games off my head? Like, where's like Hogs of War? Where's Hercules? Where's Reboot? Where's Army Men Sarge's Heroes? Where's Harvest Moon Back to Nature? Where's what else is on what is also on my shelf over there? Where's the original GTAs? Even though I can't stand the game, where's Croc Legends of the Gobbos? It's bullshit. You know what could be cool though?
Is that what you're becoming to get a PSVR 2?
You know what could be cool though?
What?
The Horizon,
just fucking
MMO.
anything on
just fucking anything on PS Plus. But second to that, a potential Horizon MMO. There's strong speculation coming out of Korea. Interesting. That Sony has signed a deal with the developer NCSoft to create an MMO adaptation of its best-selling Horizon franchise. The studio is best known for its uber popular releases like Lineage and Guild Wars, which are big in Asia, although a report by local publication MTN claims that the company is gunning for global success here. Judging by the wording in the report, it sounds like the ink is still a little wet on this deal, so if accurate, it will still be in the very early stage of development. Interestingly though, PlayStation has been hiring for a Korean translator, with the job listed in Amsterdam. Funny that. Where's Guerrilla Games based, Max? Amsterdam. If you said Korea, I was going to yell at you. But
No.
Horizon Creator Guild Games is, of course, based at the Dutch capital, so this does add weight to the report. Even more fascinating is that alongside that translator role, Sony has a handful of Amsterdam-based producer roles for an upcoming, quote, mobile game project, end quote. Given the expertise of NCSoft and PlayStation's decision to develop more mobile games, this title could be targeting smartphones. It's me vomiting on my desk. Look, the idea of an Horizon MMO is really cool in concept because it's essentially just going to be Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
But then in that case, putting it on a phone, that makes sense. Monster Hunter has seen, well, I lied, it hasn't seen its most success portably because Monster Hunter World is its most successful game.
It's Horizon Go.
Yeah, oh my God. Don't do that. It's an endless runner.
No, that's not an MMO. It's Horizon Go.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, like but yeah. Next thing you know, we hear that they've connected with Niantic and it's about finding fucking robots in the wild and throwing digital spears at them and tripping them over and stuff. So people in parks just hunting dino robots. Look, this is one of those stories that starts really cool. You're like, oh shit. And then the more you hear about it, you go, oh.
There's just fucking 10 million Aloys running around.
Yeah, like the idea is really cool in concept. The second you start adding the asterisks, it's like, oh, poo holes. Would you play this, Max?
No.
Look, I would. I'm a sucker, or at least initially, and then I'd hate it almost instantly.
Yeah.
Because you like your Monster Hunters, like not even if they just straight ripped Monster Hunter, this would be it.
But Horizon's not Monster Hunter.
But it's the closest. It's the closest analogy in terms of
the gameplay is not even relatively close.
No, but I mean in terms of what you could distribute in an MMO feel. Like because it's such a single player driven game, you're not going to have everyone go hunt down subordinate functions.
I fucking bet you they are. No, you'll be doing endless fetch quests like you do in the fucking game.
Yeah, that's a very good point.
It'll be like instead of go kill 5 of these fucks, just go kill 25 with 4 of your mates. Become herders. It's a fucking survival game. You can tame them. It's Ark, but in Horizon.
Oh.
You can tame the mechasaurs.
That's actually a better pitch than Monster Hunter. So yeah.
You wake up naked in the Forbidden West and you go fucking tame some robots.
Yeah, that's kind of better. That's actually substantially better.
Yeah. PayPal.me. Let's go.
Copyright trademark Max. Hit me up to crying, Jim. Where that's at.
Uh, it's Game Awards season.
It is.
It's not quite the Game Awards yet. Those nominees will be releasing either Monday or Tuesday, depending on where in the world you are.
So today or tomorrow, time of publish.
Yep. But the British Awards ceremony, the Golden Joysticks, have made their nominations. 3 PlayStation titles are up for Game of the Year. God of War Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, Gran Turismo 7. Joining that list is Elden Ring, Immortality, Morio and Rabbids Spark of Hope, because I can't type for shit, Return to Monkey Island, Teardown, Xenoblade Chronicles 3, Bayonetta 3, because again, I can't type, and COD, and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, and Neon White. Tough crowd.
It is a tough crowd.
There's like 2 in that list that are even contenders for me.
Yeah, so if I look at this list, and I like in terms of games that I would like objectively consider Game of the Year contenders, yeah, it's God of War, Elden Ring, yeah. Like in terms of ones that I believe that would be like worthy of that discussion. So let me have a look at the other. Like, I'm going to put up the list of games that I've played this year, because I do keep a list on my phone. Let's see. Yeah, Forbidden West. Yeah, it's probably. I think it'll make the list. It is an exceptionally good game. Probably one of the better games that I played this year. But knowing my bias towards PlayStation stuff, like that's why God of War Ragnarok gets that run. Outriders World Slayer ain't getting it. Cult of the Lamb I think should be in there at least. We'll go through the potential categories for the Game Awards, and we'll throw down our predictions. Let's see, what have we got? Oli Oli World, Sifu, Weird West, Ghostwire Tokyo. Oh yeah, I forgot that came out this year. Tiny Tina's, Rainbow Six Extraction, that ain't getting it. Dying Light 2, Gran Turismo 7, Lego Star Wars, Last of Us Part 1 won't get it because it's a remake. Rollerdrome, 2 Point Campus, Stray, that's kind of disappointed. Multiverses, Gotham Knights, Ragnarok, PGA, okay, cool. Yeah, obviously you've played a little bit more, and what do you think should also be in this list, man?
The only other thing that I can't think of anything else that I've played this year that I would put on that list. I think Tiny Tina's deserves to be on there. Tiny Tina's was brilliant, but it is kind of a niche game. It may win like multiplayer game or. Well,
let me have a quick look. I've pulled up the categories that we normally hit. So player's voice, which I presume is like picked by the fans. So that could be fucking anything, but I guarantee that's going to Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Most anticipated game of the next year.
Of the next year?
Yeah. So last year there was Elden Ring, God of War, Forbidden West, Zelda.
I think that's going to be Starfield, man.
Yeah, so last year it had Starfield and the new Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild in there.
Yeah, so those 2 will still be in there.
Yeah, Elden Ring would get the win. Elden Ring got the win last year. But I imagine Starfield's on that list, or possibly Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man 2 will make the list, but I do certainly feel that Starfield will take the win. Best debut indie game. I kind of want to say the Cult of the Lamb, but I'm trying to remember where
I don't think
that's not their first game though. So that might just get. I would argue that gets best indie game of the year, because I think that's probably got the biggest reception. But debut indie is the catch there. So Ember Lab won last year with Kena Bridges Spidgets. Yeah, yeah, Bridges Spidgets. And that was totally
that was
straight up deserved win. But like probably the only indie game that's really like run the gauntlet and like had the most like absolute love would be Cult of the Lamb. Yeah. Best multi.
That's where I would put Tiny Tina's, but I think Call of Duty will win it, or Fortnite.
No, because the best multi does not include ongoing games. So like it was really? Last year. It was It Takes Two, and then like Back for Blood, Knockout City, Monster Hunter Rise, New World, and Valheim. New World, that went real quiet. I remember that was a huge thing.
They just like re-released a 2.0 version.
Okay.
Yeah, see, I reckon that's where Thingo sits.
Yeah. What about Sifu?
Mario multiplayer? Sifu's not multiplayer.
No, but sorry, my brain went to debut indie. Like, was the guys that made Sifu, was that like a debut? Because that got a lot of love.
Actually, you know what it might be? It might be that fucking train game. The guy that the single dude that made the train brawler, Midnight Express.
Oh, okay.
Midnight Express? Is it Midnight Express?
I don't know. Like, when I think best multiplayer game, though, like, that does hit. That's tough for me because I don't play a lot of multiplayer games. And the ones that you play are ones that are...
Fuck, I need Puck. God damn it.
What?
I'm trying to find... I'm trying to find this game.
Mm-hmm.
It's Midnight Fight Express. Fuck it. I knew I was close.
All right, I'm just going to pull up VG's 24/7's release dates.
For next year?
No, for this year. So great list, by the way. If you're ever interested, yeah, VG 24/7 have a exceptional list of all the games that ever dropped in that year. So let me move it onto this screen over here. I'm just going to get washed out in white, by the way. Let's see. Like Rainbow Six Extraction won't make the list. It wasn't very good.
It might make the list, but it might.
Like Dying Light 2, didn't that have multi, but it was missing a whole bunch of its multi stuff?
Yeah, Dying Light 2 was rough.
Yeah, Oli World was good, but wasn't a breakout indie. Oh, this is riveting content, I know. Tiny Tina's will make the list, I think, in terms of multi, because it did play very, very well. And, like, I know it did sell very well, too. Like, Gran Turismo, I think if there's a racing genre, which I'll go through in just a moment. Yeah, all right, that's cool. Let's just go back to the categories and we'll come back. Oops.
It's definitely not going to be fucking Babylon's Fall.
Oh, yeah, for that game. Okay. Let's see. So, best sim strategy game. Yeah, who cares? Best sports/racing game. The answer there is probably Gran Turismo 7. Because, like, the other options are, like, what? FIFA? NBA?
Well, I don't think Forza came out this...
No,
did Forza 5 come out this year?
No, Forza Horizon 5 was last year. And it won.
Yeah, of course it did.
Best family game. I wouldn't... I would expect... Mario Rabbids. Possibly Pokemans if it comes out. If it depends on the criteria. Oh, no, it can't be because there's an out yet and the nominations are about to go live, so it doesn't make the cut.
Yeah. Which is why Final Fantasy can't win Game of the Year.
Yeah, this year. And then everyone will forget because of recency bias. Best fighting game. Once again, who cares? Multiverses might make it in there, but I don't know whether it's any... Like, it certainly won't be Dragon Ball Breakers. Best RPG should be interesting. I reckon... What did Scarlet... Oh, Scarlet Nexus was last year, wasn't it?
Scarlet Nexus was last year.
Do you reckon Valkyrie would be in there with a shot? If Horizon Forbidden West will be in there with a shot and probably come with it.
Well, I wonder if they're going to put Elden Ring in there.
Well, if Elden Ring can be categorized as an RPG, it's probably going to clean it. It's probably going to take it.
Otherwise, I think Fire Emblem came out this year.
Mm-hmm.
What other RPGs came in this year?
Triangle Strategy came out earlier in the year. Didn't that get a lot of love?
Yeah, that's a Switch title. I haven't played it because it's Switch.
Yeah, but like,
Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Oh, Xenoblade Chronicles is probably going to be in there, very much so. Yeah,
that's going to be a big one.
Like, I mean that in terms of what game was I talking about a minute ago? Oh, Triangle Strategy, because that was the guys that did Octopath Traveler, and that everyone had a big old boner for that. So,
oh, dude, Octopath Traveler 2 comes out next year. I'm fucking stoked.
Sick.
Is Saints Row going to go anywhere?
No, are you kidding me? Absolutely not. Unless there's a category for like poo games, which there is not, because they try to be nice. I'd hope to see
Persona 5 re-release this year. Does that get a look in?
I don't think we'd get a look in. I imagine.
Xbox version.
Yeah, never come out there before, so it checks out. So I'm just doing a quick scroll. I know this is riveting podcasting. Hi,
I know Final Fantasy Stranger Paradise came out this year.
Yeah, that might come in there. But what was a bit of a mixed response on that one though?
Yeah. And then the Direfield Chronicles. There's been a few RPGs this year that could definitely on the list. And it's one of those ones of like it depends on what gets classified as what.
Yeah, it depends on how they want to pitch it. Like that'll tell you. However, it might win. Yeah, it's gonna.
I can see the game of the year if it's only picking 4 nominees, because it's 4 nominees for Game Awards, yeah. Or is it
So each category has 5.
5? So my prediction for Game of the Year, the 5 will be Elden Ring, God of War, Horizon. Shit, I just had the 4. I don't know, 3. It's hard. Like those 3 are definitely going to be there.
Yeah. So best action adventure is probably also Elden Ring's probably in there as well. Best action game there's like Returnal, Back 4 Blood, Far Cry 6. I don't know like how that's another fucking vague one. It's such a weird like a weird category.
Cult of the Lamb will be number 4 for Game of the Year.
Yeah,
as a nominee.
Innovation and accessibility. I see God of War getting the win here.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, because of the big love that PlayStation received for The Last of Us Part 2. Best VR AR game. I don't think any came out this year. Best community support, probably Final Fantasy again, 14. Best mobile, once again, who cares? Best independent game will 100% be Cult of the Lamb. I hope Unpacking makes the cut. That would be pretty sweet. Best ongoing game, I'm probably going to see...
Maybe Tunic.
Tunic will 100% make that cut for best indie game. Yeah, for sure. Best ongoing game, I expect to see Final Fantasy 14 again. Destiny 2. Destiny 2 might go well this year because what was the updates that they did? That like, which is essentially
they did their big expansion this year. So and then they revamped all the subclasses and they've done a lot of stuff this year, which has been cool.
Because remember, like the feedback was that like, hey, it's a good game in and of itself. Like if you were to take away that it was Destiny 2, it'd just still be a good game.
Yeah.
The new Warzone 2.0, which is live in a couple of days.
Preload. Live.
Okay. So if it's preload in a couple of days, then don't count.
It comes out on the 16th.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
I don't think it'll make the cut.
Yeah, I'm sure Fortnite will be in there again. Apex, which is also got Overwatch 2 is probably in there, and then won't win because it's poos. Games for Impact, that's a tough one. In terms of games that like, I think Unpacking might in there because like that did have like a very cool undertone.
I can see Vampire Survivors being in something. I just don't know what.
Best performance, I most certainly imagine we'll see Christopher Judge for Kratos again, and hopefully he wins it again. If not, the young gentleman that plays Atreus should certainly get it in there. Potentially the gentleman that plays Odin or Freya, or the woman that plays Freya would also be potentially good. Best audio design. I have as far as I can recall, there's been no game that's straight up blown me away from an audio design. Like, because when I think back to like the one like Returnal was brilliant. It didn't win here. Forza Horizon 5 did, which is bullshit. Forza
does have a banger soundtrack though.
Which one does?
Forza does have a banger soundtrack.
Yeah, but that's score and music. That's not audio design.
Yeah.
Score and music's a tough one. Score and music. Once again, nothing's really jumped out at me. Best art direction, I do think God of War, aside from my love for it, in that it is like it's consistent. Like through that entire game, that art design is front to back brilliant. There's no bad. It's all good. Like I'm sure Elden Ring will get nominated in there as well because it has that, weird fucking freaky art style that they like to bring in. Mixed with everyone's love for that game. Best narrative, that's God of War's to lose. Horizon Forbidden West would make a jump in there as well. This is going to be one of those years where, like, same as the Oscars, where you clearly know what movies what games are going to just absolutely decimate everyone, and there's probably going to be a clean sweep. If once we start watching this event, if Elden Ring start winning, you know how it's going to go. And if God of War starts winning over Elden Ring, you know exactly how it's going to go.
Yeah.
It's pretty, it's just going to be a big swing that way. So best game direction. I would hope that's God of War, because I think in terms of its, as we discussed last week and the week and the bit before in our review, from a game direction perspective, it's probably the most consistent in that they set out with what they did in 2018, they expanded on it and they made it better. Like Horizon Forbidden West, as good as it was, I don't think delivered in a good game direction. I thought it was great, but yeah. I don't see, once again, to me, game direction is story in everything. It's like the entire embodiment of like, hey, this is the mission we set out to tell in this game and how it came together. And I don't think Elden Ring is that, at least from my experience or even the feedback that I've heard about the game. That's God of War's for sure. Like, yeah, God of War. Once again, the recency bias at which the Game Awards always seems to present, there's an idea of where this is going to go. But Game of the Year, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 last year. So I would say my predictions. You listed yours before. We'll go through them again. Elden Ring.
Yep.
Game of Thrones. Fuck. God of War.
Yep.
Cult of the Lamb will get in there. Horizon. Yep. It's a quiet year. So Gran Turismo might get in there. There's most certainly no Xbox games in there because they haven't released anything. Mario Rabbids is possible. I do think it's, from what I hear, it is very, very good. The first one was exceptional. But like it might just get a little... It's the same way as Metroid Dread getting in the last year. Just as hey, look, we acknowledge it's pretty good. It's not going to win, but shout out for being nominated.
Yeah.
You know, is it looking at the list of games that have dropped this year? This has been one of the poorest years in a very long time. Oh, actually, a game that I forgot to consider, Plague Tale Requiem. That will be in the best games of the year for sure, and most certainly direction and most certainly narrative. Everything I'm hearing about that game so far has been nothing but like thumbs up. So it wouldn't surprise me if we see that in a lot of categories as well, and performances as well. I think, at least from once again what I've heard, is there's a lot of praise, love, and respect.
I've played a little bit of it. It does look stunning.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's pretty much where I'm at. But yeah, for me, I want God of War to win, obviously, but I'm sure Elden Ring will give it its run for its money. Yeah, very, very cool. All right, Max, let's get into the quick bits. So this came on Twitter this week. Control 2 is happening, as Remedy have signed a publishing agreement with 505 Games. Hell yes! Like, Control would have been my game of the year if Death Stranding didn't come out. Like, Control was exceptional. Because, speaking of Control, we didn't mention this in the Entropy Centre discussion, but there is a lot of Control vibes in that space too, which is very, very cool. Hogwarts Legacy fans have over 40 minutes of gameplay to check out in a recent showcase. Have you watched it?
Not yet.
I haven't. I'm going to go radio silent until I play it, because, you know, look, regardless...
I know Cass has watched it. Yep. He was telling me about it last night. He's keen as a bean. Yeah,
look, I was already keen for the game anyway. Look, if we step aside all the J.K. Rowling stuff, we've discussed about what we think about her thoughts on things. But, you know, it's something I still want to check out. Oh, hello. What are you? Hello, news story. Wrestling RPG WrestleQuest, launching May of 2023. I don't know what that is, but thanks for putting that in there for me, Mac. So I'm gonna have to look.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna have to do a bit of googling on whatever that is. That sounds bad. One of the people who designed Fortnite's Battle Pass has now joined Naughty Dog. That only tells you what's happening with factions. Let me say.
Yep, I'm gonna get to play as Spider-Man.
Yeah, all you're gonna see is just Joel and Ellie doing that fucking dumb dance. Flossing, that's what it's called. The Last of Us board game has been funded on Kickstarter, and currently it's tripled its pledge goal. I haven't thrown in on it yet. Have you?
No.
You going to?
No.
You did Elden Ring though, yeah? No,
Nope.
You said no. Fuck you.
I have too many board games already that I don't play.
Yeah, so apparently The Last of Us 1, it is not a unique board game. It's essentially, there's like a Escape the Fate, whatever the fuck called. It's essentially a previously very common rule set just skinned in The Last of Us. So that's intriguing alone. And once again, if you wrap something in PlayStation, I probably catch my attention.
Well, you bought the fucking Resident Evil 2 game that we've still never played.
Oh, I keep looking at it every time I sit at this desk. It's like right there. I'm pretty sure it's based on the same setup, actually, as what would be the Last of Us game. Just come play it. Just come play it one day. You're just going to have to tell me. You're like, hey, I'm coming around to your house. I'm like, okay. I'm like, you and me will play it. I'll get Ange to play it. I might get Craig or Paris to come around because they're better at board games than me and they can process them like I can't. Death Stranding celebrates 10 million porters on its game's third anniversary, so 10 million players. That's amazing. Call of Duty to get premium release. In 2023, but unclear if it's a new game or Modern Warfare 2. Didn't they mention they were taking a year off?
Yeah, so there's no... Sledgehammer's game will not be coming out in 2023, but they're doing a release in 2023. It's more likely to be like a big expansion to Modern Warfare 2 by Infinity Ward.
Okay.
But basically, there's going to be enough content to charge you another $125, is what they're saying.
Activision, you piece of shit. But yeah, so you've lent me your copy of Modern Warfare 2 to borrow my whippersnapper. I'm like, ooh, what a deal. So I'm going to install that and I'll at least pull the first...
You need like fucking 200 gig.
No, I'm installing it in parts. I'm going to do part 1 of the campaign and the multiplayer. And that's it.
Okay.
So, because I know Ange, my housemate, he and his partner play a lot. So she's just going to carry both he and I can't wait. Sony has announced upcoming title Final Fantasy 16 will be exclusive to the platform for 6 months. We should preface though that Final Fantasy 7 remake was a timed exclusive as well, and suddenly that's not anywhere else. So, look, on a complete side note, I'm pretty confident that Square Enix are preparing themselves to be bought. Like, they're releasing everything they can, no matter where they can. It's like, we're just going to release everything.
Yeah, Square Enix has dropped so many fucking games this year. It's crazy.
Essentially, it's almost like they're trying to inflate their value. Like this release,
they also just sold off 3 fucking...
Yeah. So on a side note, if things go well, we may not have to hit up Square Enix directly anymore. We'll just go to PlayStation, which is great because they're working relationship with both of them. Woohoo! What a win. And finally, Ubisoft wants to make sure we all know about that Prince of Persia remake has not been cancelled. I forgot about it, so shout out to them.
So despite the fact that they refunded everyone's pre-orders, they only did that because they don't have an anticipated release date, but they're still working on it.
Yeah, they felt really bad because Ubisoft have known to feel bad about mistreating people. You know, it's what they do. They mistreat people all the time, but at least this time they feel sad about it. So, hence, it's coming.
Okay, and upcoming titles this week, we have Do Not Open coming to PS5 November 15th. TMNT Shredder's Revenge, PS5 November 15th. Call of Duty Warzone 2.0, PS5, PS4 November 16th, with the preload going live on Tuesday, I believe. Mm-hmm. Goat Sim 3, PS5 November 17th.
For the preload.
Yep. Goat Sim 3, PS5 November 17th. The Dark Pictures Anthology The Devil in Me, PS5, PS4 November 18th.
The Devil in My
and
butt.
Wise 8 Lacrimosa of Dana, PS5 November 18th.
Yeah, look, Mans for me is the Devil's Inside Me. Yeah. They get
I'm
that.
Actually keen for Warzone 2, to be honest.
Well, I just want to see. I'd be curious to see what they make different. Like when the times that I had played Warzone, I really enjoyed it.
Apparently, there's like a Tarkov, Division style Dark Zone gameplay style where you got to extract shit. So
see, this is interesting, isn't it? Once again, isn't it interesting that Call of Duty used to be the tastemaker, but I don't know when it was. It was a couple of years ago.
Were they?
Yeah,
no. All their game modes exist in other games first.
Yes, but everyone was like, we need our game to be Call of Duty. And now Call of Duty's like, well, we need our game to be this. And because they release everything annually, it's just constantly changing and adding different influences. You're like, oh, it's Call of Duty. It's like Tarkov. It's like this. But previously, how many years ago we were like, it's like Call of Duty? Just how times have changed and how the market leader is, I guess, on paper is still the market leader. But from an inspiration value stance, not so much.
I mean, according to Jim Ryan, it's the best game in the world.
Yeah, well, he has to, because he's committed to a bit now, and he can't step away.
He's committed to the bit.
Yeah. But anyways, a big thank you to everyone for listening to the show. We much appreciate you as always, and as you said, the greatest thing you can do is spend time with anyone. As our time on this coil is finite, and you've chosen to spend some of it with us. So thank you so much, Max. Send us home.
Well, everyone, tonight's PlayStation conversation came to you in 2 parts.
Yeah.
So thank you for bearing with us. But you can catch this every morning, Monday, 8 a.m. podcast services, including Apple Podcasts and Spotify, 9 a.m. on those YouTubes for video format and people who want to look at us. But if you want to take part in future conversations with us, come and check out our last socials. Facebook, Discord, Instagram, and Twitter. I don't have my blue chick yet, but we'll get there.
I am paying
but
fucking
all those links are in the description below. What was that?
I ain't paying that $8. Fuck them.
That's 12 in Australia.
Gross. That makes me even less want to do it.
You don't want to pay for a digital tick?
No, because I'm sorry. We'll get into a sec. The verification. Everyone that's complaining about the verification and how it's like they're just mad they don't have one. Like Elon Musk, boomer energy to the max. How many years ago when everyone gets a participation trophy, it diminishes the award.
Yeah.
So okay, why, when everyone can be verified, suddenly no one's verified, and it means nothing?
I saw a tweet today, and I'm really annoyed that I can't remember who posted it. So if it was you and you listen to the show, please, claim credit, because I wish I could give it to you. But it was Elon Musk is the best example of a gamer thinking he can do better than the developers.
Bingo. Yeah, no, it's fucking what a piece of shit. Like, it's like, yeah, I just hate it in terms of the idea of like, yeah, if everyone can be verified, then it doesn't mean anything. So right. But then you have to have a verification over that verification, like, and then what? Because like I don't have a green tick, suddenly like everyone starts complaining about the green ticks. It's fucking stupid. Like it's the idea of the has and has nots, but then when suddenly everyone has, you just make new has nots. It's dumb. It's completely stupid, and like verification, like legitimately verified accounts mean something. It should mean something. How about they just got more strict on who earns it? Like previously it was just if you happen to be a journo, you just get one. Well, maybe don't make it that easy. Like,
but like if you want a better way to spend $12, come on over to our Patreon.
You totally can. That's very, very true.
We'll give you a blue tick.
Yeah, we'll do it for sure. We'll give you fucking color tick you want, But if you want to join the conversation as it happens, another way to spend $12 is head over to our Twitch. Yeah, if you want to join the conversation as it happens, head over to twitch.tv/thepopcultures, where you can watch us record this show live, where you can jump in the chat and become part of the show. If you want to support the show, you can tell your friends, tell your family about this PlayStation Pod. If you are listening on podcast services, be sure to give us a 5-star rating and a written review. If you're watching the interview, be sure to like, subscribe, comment below. I endeavor to answer every single comment. If you want to support us financially and it's just a waste of money as your blue Twitter check, head over to patreon.com/thepopculturist, where you can buy help support the show, or you can head over to popculture.com/shop, where you can buy shirts, other assorted shit with our logos on it.
We need to make a fucking verified t-shirt.
Oh yeah, just PopC verified, and no one wants it. It's just as valuable. But until next week, I'm Ryan Betson.
I'm Max Cooper.
And that was for the feeders.
For the feeders.
I remembered.
Nice callback from like 2 hours ago.
It was 2 hours ago.